Hello and welcome to Historic UK's app review for London, a city through time. This is an iPad app available from the App Store now. The current cost is £9.99 and it's worth noting from the outset that this is quite a large app. It's going to take up about a gigabyte of space. So if you do have one of the smaller iPads, the ones with 16 gigs, then it's probably worth clearing out some memory before you do download it. It is also worth noting, though, that this is a fantastic app, and we think it is wholly worth the £9.99 and the gigabytes worth of space on the iPad. This is the home screen that you're looking at the moment. We're just browsing through, just giving you a bit of an idea about all of the different sections. We are going to scroll back, though, and have a look at the main section, which is the timeline. Now, this covers the whole history of London, all the way from the Roman invasion up to 2012. So if we scroll all the way up to 2012, there we go, you'll notice that there's some information about what's been happening recently, as well as if you click on one of the images at the bottom. This is a view from the Shard in 2011, and this is a full 360-degree panorama. Zoom in there to the city and zoom back out, and it's also got a gyro control that you can see at the top right. Now this means that you can kind of browse around and pan and sweep just by using your iPad and moving it around as opposed to using your fingers. If we go back to Oliver Cromwell days, we can also see the 1655 version of the 360-degree panorama. So here you'll see London before the Fire of London, looking up towards St Paul's, and the clarity on it is great, really, really good. And they've got this all the way through, all the way from the Roman occupation, all the way up to modern day. So there's an awful lot of articles and photos and rich media for you to explore. If we go back to the home screen, the next section is the map section. Now, this app is based on the Encyclopedia of London, so there's an awful lot of articles, an awful lot of photos and all those sort of things, which are all brought together here and overlaid on a Google map. So here we've got Tower of London. Click on that, it's got some information, some text at the top and some photos at the bottom. So here's a picture of the Yeoman of the Guard in 1890, a picture of the Tower of London in 1893, and you can see the Tower Bridge being built there, which was nice. And you can see this sort of variety. We've got a diagram there of the Tower of London, so there's an awful lot to explore, and the popular attractions have an awful lot of content. If we scroll out to the east into the suburbs, you'll notice that it's not just central London that's covered either. I mean, that was Woolwich, and there was an awful lot of historical attractions which are laid out. The Life in London section is our least favourite, but it is still a good section. It's got an awful lot of information here. If we click on crime, for example, it is quite text heavy. I mean, on that first slide there is a nice big picture of Hogarth to anchor the text. But as you can see, if we do slide through, it is very text heavy. Criticism is taken away slightly with all the pictures at the bottom, which do give you a good idea of what crime was like through the ages. So it is still worth browsing through, and there is an awful lot of information there. To the home screen, the next section is My London. Now, the app developers here have asked notable Londoners about their favourite places in London. So we've got Jeffrey Archer, Paul Smith, and in this case, select Michael Palin. Here we can see his Michael Palin's favourite place is Kenwood House. Click on the arrow, and it does give you some more information about that Kenwood House there. It is a nice addition, not really needed in the app, but we really can't complain. It's another reason to spend the £9.99 on it. This is one of our favourite sections. So this is a Blue Badge guided tours. This is an audio tour basically built into the app. There's only 3 of them, which is a bit of a shame. Would have liked a few more. But if we click on one, you can see here that we're zoomed into the City of London. If we click on number 1, the start of the walk, you can see that there's a little audio button there. So if you are around there at the areas with your iPad, you can be taken on an audio tour of the area. If we zoom back out, and we'll go to the home screen again and zoom along, the next section is History on the Tube. Now, this is available offline, which is good. So if you're sitting on the tube, obviously you don't have an internet connection, you can read about all of the historical attractions and the various places that are going above your head. So here's the Hammersmith and City line. Click on Baker Street, for example, and there's a bit of information about it. And we'll click on the photo there, and you can see what Baker Street Station was like in 1890. Our only criticism about this part is that because we're big engineering fans, this is a personal criticism by the way, that we would like a bit more information about the building of the lines themselves, so, you know, about how cut and cover worked for the early lines, etc. The audio-visual history is our favourite part. This is fantastic. Let's click on the historic maps of London first of all. Now, it is worth noting that, as I said earlier, this is a gigabyte, the app in itself. So these maps are separate downloads. This one here is 2 megabytes. Once you download it once, though, it is forever on your iPad, so you don't need to re-download them again. The 360-degree spin section is great, probably mainly for kids, but it's also quite fun to play around. It does show off the capabilities of the iPad. So here's Tower Bridge. You can zoom around, see how the bridge opens and closes, and get some information about it as well. Also teamed up with English Heritage. Here's a pocket watch from 1735. And again, the clarity on this is absolutely amazing. You can really zoom in and get a good idea about all those historic artefacts. The 360-degree panorama views are mainly focused on central London. I think the furthest we found was Hampstead Ponds. Let's click on that one. We did download this earlier. Again, these are separate downloads. It's all built in with the gyro control, like the view from the top of the Shard, so you can have a look around just by moving your iPad around. And the clarity on them is amazing. Resolution's really high. Great for armchair tourists. Let's go back to the audio-visual history. The next section is the videos from the Pathé archive. This is great. I think there's 12, 24, 36 of them, 35 or 36 of them. Our only criticism here would be that we managed to get through them all in about 2 days. So it would have been nice to see a few more. Maybe in future updates they'll be including some more videos in there. The historical panoramas are fantastic. We are big map fans, we love looking at them, and these are brilliant. Here's one of before and after the fire of London. You can zoom in here, and you can really get a sense of how high in resolution these are. We can almost see the individual houses there of old London. The idea and the scanning that must have gone into this is bewildering. I don't even hesitate to think about how long it would have taken to scan all of those in, but they are a wonderful addition to the app. So if we zoom out of this and back to the home screen, as I did mention earlier, this is based on the Encyclopedia of London. You can browse all of the articles by subject. Won't go into that now. We'll move straight on to notable Londoners. So this is all broken into different categories. We're big engineering fans, so we'll click on that. And then Brunel, one of our personal heroes. And then it does bring up some information about Brunel himself, along with any other entries in the app which are related to him. So again, this is a large section of the app. It's not one of the ones that we've been on most, but it is a nice addition. So that was a very whistle-stop tour of London City through time. It is £9.99, highly recommended. We give this 4 stars out of 5. Maybe with future updates, if they do put in a few more Pathé videos, it will probably be bumped up to 5 out of 5, to be honest, so highly recommended.